Trump just came out with this meme coin.
The meme coin,
right?
Trump coin.
The Trump coin.
What are your thoughts?
Oh man, I'm kind of heartbroken, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just, it's a shit coin. Nobody should be buying it, and it troubles me and angers me that the president, who, look, I'm glad he won versus the alternative, but that he's doing this. The crypto people, who I call shitcoiners, and other people would say they have legitimate use cases, fine, but all those people, fortunately, they do represent votes, and they did give a lot of money to Trump, and they are part of why we are where we are today. And Bitcoiners alone probably couldn't have gotten us here. So I kind of live with the crypto crowd a little bit, with a love-hate relationship. I like the fact that they're into digital stuff, and I like the fact that they support digital freedom. But when they do coins that are unethical, like I think the pump and dumps, like what I think Trump coin is, that just really bothers me.
I'm here at BitcoinDay Naples with Larry Lepard. We're going to have just a quick conversation, talk about some stuff. I pulled him outside real quick, and we're going to chat it up. Yeah, so, Larry, I heard you've got a new book coming out.
I do, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's written. It's being laid out right now. So I imagine it'll be on Amazon. I'm kind of thinking 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, worst case.
Okay, awesome.
So it's just in the layout phase. So
I hope I get an autographed copy.
Oh, yeah. Look, anyone who goes to any show, I'll autograph it, and I'll probably sell some online that way as well. But I don't want to make a ton of money off it. I'm just trying to sell a lot of coins or a lot of books and orange pill people.
Okay,
that's
awesome.
The message.
I hope we can do a deep dive Cypherpunk'd series.
Oh yeah. Once it comes out, when you read it, then you'll have it'll probably spring a lot of questions in your mind.
You can just go down all those rabbit holes.
Yeah, there are all kinds of stuff in there, and I went crazy on it. I mean, I've been working really hard on it for 6 months. And I'll tell you, the goal of it was to, I was watching some blue-red debate last year, and I was just so frustrated. It's like all these people are arguing over all this shit that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
they got to keep the plebeians entertained. What is it?
Well, it was a bread and circus, right? And so I just thought to myself, God Almighty, the problem's the money. The money's broken. Lynn's pointing that out. We all know it. Somebody's got to write a book that explains it. And Safe has and Lynn has. Those are great books. I borrow from heavily.
Did you read Lynn's book?
Oh gosh, yeah. And I borrowed heavily from both of those.
We got to grab her too.
I borrowed from Jeff's book and everything else. But what I thought about myself about those books, they're not easy reads. And I've given the Bitcoin Standard to people. They start into it and they bog down. They don't read it. I thought, somebody ought to write something kind of more of a popular book, more of a story, and talking about the personal side of it all. And so that's kind of what I try to do. I try to write a book that hopefully somebody will be in the airport. They'll see this book, and the big print. What's that mean? And then they'll go and read it, and they'll read a few of the clips. And shit, this is interesting. Maybe I should read this. And it's written at a level where anyone can understand. You don't have to be a finance person. You don't have to be an investor. You don't have to have any of the background that a lot of people who are in this area have. You just have to be worried about inflation and that your life sucks. And so, in fact, that's part of what I tried to do was I wanted to show people why things are bad, and then what we got to do to fix it. And I think a lot of people would agree things are bad, right? And I mean, we all see the inflation. We all know the problems. So this is it's meant to be an everyman's manual for what the problem is, what the solution is. So
very cool. I'm excited to read it, and I'm excited to have you on to unpack it.
Well, that'll all happen in a couple weeks.
So we had a fantastic panel this morning, and you and I kind of spoke a little bit off the panel. What are your thoughts on the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve? What do you think about it? Yeah, so it sounds to me, from everything I'm hearing, nothing's ever guaranteed, right? But it sounds to me like they're going to do it. I mean, the Cantor people are saying they're going to do it. Every indication I've got is they're going to do it. What does it mean? Well, I think it means for sure they're not going to sell what they've got. I think it also probably means they're going to indicate they intend to buy. How much? I don't know. The Loomis bill to get 1 million coins. I think you told me you think they've got the votes. I hope they do. That's what I'm hearing. That's the rumblings.
I'm afraid they don't. But all of that's really good. As the topic we should probably talk about today, because Trump just came out with this meme coin.
The meme coin, right? Trump coin.
The Trump coin.
What are your thoughts?
Oh man, I'm kind of heartbroken, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just it's a shit coin. Nobody should be buying it, and it troubles me and angers me that the president, who look, I'm glad he won versus the alternative, but that he's doing this. I mean, because it's not an honest thing. These shit coins are not honest things. And so, as we talked about before off camera, the shit coiners, the crypto people, who I call shit coiners, and other people would say they have legitimate use cases, fine. But all those people, fortunately, they do represent votes, and they did give a lot of money to Trump, and they are part of why we are where we are today. And Bitcoiners alone probably couldn't have gotten us here. So I kind of live with the crypto crowd a little bit, with a love-hate relationship. I like the fact that they're into digital stuff, and I like the fact that they support digital freedom. But when they do coins that are unethical, like I think the pump and dumps, like what I think Trump coin is, that just really bothers me. You know what I mean? What's your reaction to it?
So, I mean, I'm a pro-freedom guy. So,
right.
You know, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. But if you're willing to play that game, that's, you know,
you
should have all the freedom to do it. I think we live in a free society. People like to gamble. I mean, you know, I've put, you know, money down. With a flip of a coin, you know, you could lose 10 grand, you could lose 20 grand. You know, like people enjoy that rush, right? And you know, these shit coins or whatever meme coins, they give people that thrill, and you know, they get it plays out over weeks or months or even years, right? I mean, some of these things,
I accept it. I mean,
it's a way for people to learn about cryptocurrency and kind of play. And hey, if you lose this dog coin or you lose this, it ain't no big deal, right? And that was kind of the fundamental behind why Dogecoin was done. Nobody wanted to lose their Bitcoin, but they wanted to teach people about crypto. So they used Dogecoin as this educational tool, and it kind of got a life of its own. The other side of it is, you know, it's straight gambling for the most part, right? Which, you know, we'll see what Trump does with whatever he did, and maybe there's some logical, you know, thing behind it. Maybe he's going to tie it into NFT projects. I don't really know any of that, but you know, if he obviously, I think it remains to be seen if him and his entities or whoever is controlling it has 80% of the supply of the coin. So like if they dump it on a bunch of retail people, obviously that's extremely unethical. You know? But if he never sells the coin and he's just doing it for fun, and maybe they give it as to charity, like I have no problem with that. I saw something the other day that totally changed my mindset on meme coins in general. And it was like some guy whose daughter was dying of cancer. And like, you know, he couldn't afford the insurance or whatever it was. And like a bunch of degenerates made a coin for his daughter and literally let him sell it. And now he could pay for her cancer treatment. So I think there's novel, interesting things that can play out here. But again, at the end of the day, it's not something I would recommend people investing in. It's, you know, but if people want to play those games and have fun, I have no problem with it. Somebody can go to the store and buy a scratch off or spend $1 million in the casino. It's free society.
I'm all for freedom. And if people want to do things, they should be free to do them. I agree with you on that. I mean, I think Trump holds a position of leadership. That, you know, he should hold himself to a higher standard. And I sure hope he doesn't sell all those coins. You know, I hope that there is a higher purpose that we don't yet understand.
And I think that may be the case. I mean, I don't think Trump really, a lot of people think he's simple-minded, but I don't think he does anything that isn't calculated, that he hasn't talked about or thought out before.
We'll have to see. I mean, you know, I would emphasize, though, that I think for anybody, you know, listening to this, that it's just investing in Bitcoin is the real deal. And all of these other coins are, as you say,
different use case, right? Different thing.
Gambling.
Totally, you know,
gambling.
Really, I mean,
gambling is really the best way to look at it.
For like a lot of these things, and, you know, people enjoy the attention.
Bitcoin is a legitimate savings vehicle. It's going to change people's lives because it represents digital scarcity, which we never had. Which we never had before.
In a decentralized fashion too. That scarcity is controlled by.
Well, that's right. It's a freedom
issue.
It's a freedom issue too, because it takes all the power out of the hands of the central bank.
Exactly. I think you hit the nail on the head, right? So people often come to me and they're like, I want to buy this thing. Its price is so low, I can't make any money in Bitcoin or whatever. And I think you got to understand first what is money, and then understand why Bitcoin's price has gone up, and understand that this random thing you just saw. There's so many of these currency units that, you know, and one guy controls 80% of it. I mean, it's not the same thing, right? So important to really understand that and take your journey down the Bitcoin rabbit hole. And what better place to do that than literally at BitcoinDay? You know, these guys put on such a great event, and they do a fantastic job. And you know, the Bitcoin conference that they have every year is fantastic. It's 3 to 4 days and so many speakers, and it's so much going on. But like at these one-day events, like you have a nice day, some breakfast, some lunch, coffee, etc. You get to network with really awesome people, super intelligent people. For me, it's the authors that make it all worth it for me. People that, you know, have brilliant thoughts to share with the world. And you kind of, your attention is not torn in 100 million different directions. You get panel after panel, and it's much more intimate experience.
And you have one-on-one time with everybody.
Exactly.
I mean, this is not a mob scene. I mean, you were probably in Nashville, right?
Oh, I was. It was insane, but it was awesome. But
it's fun, but
right? It's fun.
It's a mob scene.
You can't keep up with everything. You can't make it to all the speeches you want to hear.
This
you can't
is fun. I mean,
network with all the people. It's like just
you get a chance at these smaller events. You get a chance to meet and talk to everybody, and that's, to me, that's connecting with people is the fun part. You know, that's the best part of it all.
Wow. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap. Tune in the next couple months. I'm going to read Larry's new book, and we're going to get him on the Cypherpunk'd.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do it.
And unpack it all.
Yeah, happy to do it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. Very nice to see you, man. Take care, brother.